I'm pretty sure I didn't understand a lot of themes that the story had to convey. I didn't grasp a lot of nuances of the series. And it would be great if someone explained them to me. But even without any of the explanations, I think I'm quite happy with the time I spent with this series. It's rare that I actually like the hero of a show. Squid Game was an exception. I like each and every player very much, but I like Jihan most of all. He's a character that you can empathize with almost always, except, of course, for that one moment where he went crazy and killed Deho. I liked him otherwise. He started off in the show as someone who's down on his luck, has no money, and is really beat down by life, and yet happy. Throughout this season, he's gone through long moments of silences. He's made to choose horrible choices. He's asked to kill his competitors just so he can get out. And then he's asked to choose between himself and the baby. And every one of these choices that he makes is a spectacle to watch. Jung Jae is a brilliant actor who has done wonders in this season. But other than Jihan, I also really liked Woo-suk, the gangster bad guy who loans Jihan money and then actually becomes his friend, helping him find the people running the game. He's a light-hearted character who seems like a really optimistic guy, and he's funny. I don't know if he's really funny, but he's funny to me. And I like him. I like characters like him. I like characters who are optimistic and happy and stupid and funny and are really good people. I like good people. One of the most boring bits this season that went on and on and on was the voting. I don't remember voting being such an integral part of the first season. I remember they voted once and that was that. We never saw them doing it ever again. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. These last two seasons though, they played that voting bit over and over again and it started to get annoying. I understand from a logistical point of view that they had to vote, yes, but they could have just shown us a montage after the first time and that would have worked much better. Boring repetitions aside, there was one thing I found upsetting. Look, modern day sensibilities have told us over and over again to ask for a woman's permission before you actually do anything to her. And even then, she can withdraw permission at any point. This extends to men too, of course. You ask permission and only then can you get to do things to the person. Nobody, absolutely nobody, asked the infant girl who couldn't talk and was a day or two old at best if she wanted to participate in the games. And without her permission, they inducted her into the games. The whole concept of the game relies on free will. They let people stay or they let them go based on whether they want to be there or not. They're inducted into these games based on free will. The child was not there based on her free will. The child doesn't know what free will is. Heck, the child doesn't even know what a mother and a father are yet. How the hell was it suddenly recruited to play the games? By the game's own logic, the child simply shouldn't have been able to participate. But the founders, through some twisted logic, passed the whole thing and got the baby to be a player. I understand that it makes story sense. You need the child there to make story choices later in the series. Jihan taking care of the baby, Myung-ji threatening to throw the baby off, all of that. The baby is essential. But the baby being a part of the game just doesn't make sense. This season, continuing from the last season, but considerably scaled down, was the detective story. Junho, the detective and brother of the frontman, goes looking for the island on which the Squid Games are being played. He's doing this because he wants to look his brother in the eye and ask why he's doing all this. It's an interesting quest, but the show treated this quest rather poorly. In the last season, they wasted so much time showing him look for nothing, and I was really tired of the whole thing. This season though, they scaled back on Junho's story, only showed what was essential, and I think as a result, the story feels much tighter. Unfortunately, the end of his quest seemed very rushed, and it left me unsatisfied. By the end of the season, Junho barely gets a minute face to face with his brother, the frontman, and all he manages to scream out is, "Why do you do it?" And then the frontman is gone. I don't know what else they could have done to fix this. I don't think they could have done much to fix it, but it felt very unsatisfactory, that ending. It felt rushed. It felt like it was thrown in just because they'd built up to that moment. But I suppose that's the point of life. You chase your dreams all your life, and more often than not, nothing comes of your chase. You're left with nothing to show for your efforts and life just screws you over. Towards the end of the show, Myung-ji, Ji-han and the baby are all on this huge towering structure. What they need to do here is throw off one of them. Only then will the other two get to the exit area of the game. This is when Myung-ji threatens to throw the baby off, which is unexpected. The baby is his own after all. Threatening to throw off his own baby to its death makes absolutely no sense at all. When you sit down and think about it, it's not entirely unfeasible. Infant girls have been killed in India and China for ages. It's a freaking disgusting thing, but it's reality. So it should not be surprising, but it felt unnatural somehow. And then I heard the creator talk about what he intended to show with this scene. Myung-ji is a metaphor for people in society who prioritize money over all else, even their own children. Apparently, there are enough people in the world for this to be a thing. In contrast, Ji-han, a relative stranger, is more a father to the baby than Myung-ji. And it's heartening to see people who are willing to do the right thing, even if it eventually costs them their lives. But Ji-han failed to stop the Squid Games. He failed to put a dent even on the Squid Games. He died in front of people who couldn't care less for his sacrifice. Yes, the organization in Korea shut down for good, or that's what they tell us. Yes, there were other people seeing his sacrifice. Kang Noel sees his death and doesn't commit suicide. In-ho, having seen his friend die, perhaps changes, giving the little girl to his brother and giving the rest of the money to Ji-han's daughter. And sure, there were changes happening because stories must have change. But Ji-han did not see any of this. All he saw were the rich sitting there enjoying the show, and he threw himself to his death. He went through all of this for a second time, a completely changed man, and he died for nothing. And the show presents to us everything good that happened after the games were over. Ji-han's daughter gets the rest of the money, the baby is safe and set up for life. Gyeong-suk survives and his daughter is treated of her illness. Kang Noel hasn't killed herself and is now going out looking for her child. Sebyok's mother is now returned and reunited with her family. Usyuk gets to the hotel and decides to renovate the whole thing, go straight, and everything seems to be going well for everyone. Except our hero. Our hero is dead. And for the dumbest reason of all. They hadn't pressed the start button before the game began. And Myung-ji died for nothing. Myung-ji was an idiot and he had to die, but he died for nothing. And Ji-han is dead. Jang-bae, Hyung-ju, Jun-hee, and so many others, they're all dead, all for nothing. In the end, Squid Game is a rather depressing show. A brilliant TV show, but a very depressing one. From what I understand, David Fincher is apparently continuing the series, which is great, but it only means more depressing things are to be expected. I was very unhappy when I was watching Squid Game, and now I have more seasons of unhappiness to look forward to. Thanks, David Fincher, and thanks, Netflix.